My ambition for this project was to find another way. Reflecting on the sense of domesticity, I took the task of marrying the nature of the sofa with the life of an autonomous entity. Maah is a mother of all robots. Its extremely simple design represents the essence of life. How can the simple form can attract attention, convey emotion, and exist in the eye of the public? Big Maah represents more an art performance, with its complexity, behavior, and special impact. For this project, I prefer to focus on a smaller version. To make this adventure possible, I was supported by Dr. Sven Gold. His input on AI and robotics were crucial to make this project happen. The first task was to create the movement in 3D of the mechanical structure to test and analyze the dynamics at play. Using simulated physics, I've managed to detect early the configurations to avoid. Sven was able to create the first robotic model and program a full walking sequence. This success motivated us to create the interior using expandable foam for a very soft feeling. Unfortunately, reality slapped me in the face, as the engines were unable to lift anything at all. We had to change the structure. The simplest option seemed to be a wireframe, but we had to shrink down the size to make it work for the engines. Then started the tedious task of shaping the wireframe, following the patterns made in AutoCAD. Reverse engineering tech was interesting, as this work was purely manual. Bending metallic rods is more difficult than you think, but it is nothing compared to fixing them together. However, after 2 weeks of efforts, it gave me the chance to test the feasibility of this kind of moving structure. Yet, I had to find an easier and faster way to create Maah's bone. The shape of this millipede and the intricate architecture of a bird bone influenced me to use generative design for the interior structure of the Maah. Then, we could start the long process of 3D printing. It helped immensely to understand and research the inner mechanisms of each part. And then, finally, Maah took its first steps. I was overwhelmed with joy. Besides the technological inquiry, it was an achievement to create a complex but easy to access domestic social robot. Finally, I was able to dress it. Using the neat construction we developed with the engineer Rainer Rockel last year. Finally, the robe is fitting the Maah. To summarize, first, there is a lot to do for the customization of Maah's robes. The goal now is to upgrade the engines to be able to test the Maah properly, like in this simulation. Maah is a social robot using body language, and at this stage is not able to express itself properly.
Is it some type of speaker? Maybe it's a cushion to subwoof the sound. It's quite welcoming. It looks like a nice type of interior design in terms of like.
Oh, it moves! Oh, that's really cool. It's a bit like a cushion pillow, which is quite nice because it's kind of disguised.
Maah represents the new generation of social robots, challenging the standards of design and the industry. It is asking of what should be the function of a domestic robot. Is companionship enough? There are no redundancies. Maah blends as a living interior design artifact. Its simple presence, comfort, and autonomy are programmed to give unconditional love to living creatures. Creating contemplation instead of entertainment may be boring. I will soon find out.